So this is a 2-year-old headset. Looks like a 2-year-old headset, but does it still act like one? Let's find out. Welcome back to another Techtacular video. What's going on, guys? Got another review for you today on the Logitech G935s. Now, back when these came out in the start of 2019, these were Logitech's flagship headphones. And obviously, a lot of time has passed since then. And I wanted to see how these stacked up now in 2021. And full disclosure, Logitech ANZ did send these headphones out for review, but all thoughts are my own. But I'm very keen to give these a try and see how they stack up, especially with the likes of their newest headphones like the G733 and also the Pro X, and which is currently Logitech's flagship. So without further ado, so in the box, you get a few things. You get a micro USB charging cable, and yes, this does charge over micro USB, but keep in mind this did come out at the start of 2019. We also get a 3.5mm audio cable, so you can use these wired, as well as the USB Bluetooth dongle. Now, the G935s are actually quite comfortable. On the sides of the ear cups, we've got some nice, really squishy foam pads that, when wearing them, are actually quite comfortable, and they don't get your ears too hot. They allow your ears to breathe a little bit from my testing anyway. And on the top of your head, we've got a nice squishy foam pad as well. So the headset does overall give you some good support, and it needs to, as this headset definitely skews to the heavier end of wireless headsets. Now, yes, if you're wearing a wireless headset, you do get some extra weight from the battery that it needs to store. But in saying that, there are some lighter wireless headsets out there that do boast some good battery life. So this is one area which I think that the headset does show its age, is in how heavy it is. But overall, I didn't have too many issues with the headset. Even for long listening sessions, it was quite comfortable. And as you can see, wearing glasses, not too much issue as well. And the sound isolation, these are closed back headphones, so you're going to get some pretty good sound isolation, and these don't disappoint there. So if you're wanting to block out a lot of outside noise, these definitely do that job. And going on from battery life, that is also another area which these are pretty decently good at. Logitech boasts 12 hours for the battery, and I've got to say, from all the testing that I've done, these pretty much hold up to par. And that's 12 hours with no lighting on it, because these also include RGB. And you might be wondering, where is that RGB? Well, they exist in a few places. The RGB exists on the sides in the logo, as well as the back. And you might be wondering, why is there light strips on the back? And I honestly have no idea. No one would even be able to see the light strips, even if you're live streaming. At least this was fixed on the latest G733s, which stay subscribed, guys, for that one, because hopefully we'll be able to do a comparison from these to the G733s and whether they are actually worth the upgrade. I'd rather have more battery life than fancy lighting on these particular headphones anyway, so I would just turn all the lighting off and get some extra battery life from them. Sticking to the back of the headphones, we've got a few controls on the back. Firstly, we have the power switch button. We've got 3 programmable buttons, mic mute, and also a volume scroll wheel. Now, being a wireless headset, I can definitely see the value in having some programmable buttons on the back. Most people most likely won't even use them, but if you do listen to a lot of music or you're just going up and about, it's definitely helpful. Whether you use them for just basic music controls like pause, play, skip, that kind of thing, or almost assign them to almost anything really. G-Hub is really great. It's pretty easy to use as well, and allows you to pretty much customize them to almost anything you really need. And if you haven't heard of G-Hub, essentially it is just Logitech's application that they use to manage all of their peripherals, and it's definitely one of the better peripheral applications out there. Onto the overall design of the headset. Now, this is where the headset really shows its age. They are quite bulky looking headphones, and overall, I don't mind the design. but I definitely think that they could have put a little bit more effort into the design. Also, another thing to note is that you do have a compartment inside the headset to store the Bluetooth dongle, and which I think that every wireless headset should have. Like, if it's wireless and it does have a dongle, you should at least store it somewhere. Most of them have smaller dongles. This one is on the larger side. It's a quite a big dongle, but you know what? It's not too bad. But room for improvement for the future. Moving on to sound quality. As standard in most headphones these days, we've got some nice 50mm drivers that actually sound pretty good. Nothing outstanding, but they sound good in all areas. Like, the bass is pretty good, highs are pretty alright. Like, it's, I'd say, average to above average kind of quality of headphones, but not getting something that's going to completely blow you away. But I was actually quite impressed with them, given that they are 2-year-old headsets, that the sound is actually quite decent. And I find that most closed back headphones not always recreate sound accurately, and these do a fairly good job of doing that and sort of achieving that, striving to achieve that open back sound. Even the virtual surround sound is actually pretty decent too. So overall, pretty happy with how these sounded. But sound is not the only thing. We've also got the microphone, and this is where the G935s kind of falter, but this is also where most wireless headsets falter. In terms of functionality, the mic flips down from the left ear cup and it can extend out to be pointed directly at your mouth. I quite like this design, as it allows you to get the microphone aimed more directly at your mouth for a little bit of boosted clarity without being too obtrusive. It's quite a small microphone, very minimal. So I actually quite like this design. And it can actually flip up to mute as well, which I quite like. So instead of using the mic mute button on the back, you've got the flip to mute. So it's nice to have that option. Actually, what I found is that you don't actually need to extend the microphone. You can actually leave it unextended and still use it as normal. And in my testing, I found that this actually didn't make any difference to sound quality. And speaking of sound quality, let's talk about that. I'm now speaking on the G935 microphone. Already you can hear the quality isn't great. Microphones on wireless gaming headsets rarely get done right, and frankly, most gaming headsets. And unfortunately, it doesn't get done right here. Quality is really not great. It's the sound's a bit muddy, what I found, and depending on who you are, it can come across a little bit harsh. But on the plus side, what it lacks in quality, it makes up for in a bit of clarity. I'm sure if you guys are especially listening with headphones, you can definitely hear what I'm saying quite clearly. It's not muffled in any way from what I can hear, and things do come off quite clear. And at the end of the day, for basic communication, which was the goal for this microphone, it does achieve that. If all you're doing is the occasional Discord call and some light chatter in online games, I do think it's passable. But if you're planning to do anything else, I do think getting a standalone mic is recommended. So with that, let's get to our final verdict. So, do these headphones still hold up after 2 years? And the answer is kind of. It originally launched at 350 Australian dollars, and now you can probably find it around 260 to about $290. 260, I do think it's quite a decent deal. I'd even hold out and see if you can find it further on sale. But for that price, I think you're getting a really solid package here. If you're looking for a solid wireless headset with good comfort, good sound quality, really, and as long as you don't need a good microphone on it, I think these could be a very solid option. Also, I forgot to mention earlier, the range is actually pretty good. I could walk around most of the house and still hear everything perfectly fine. So range is definitely also another really good thing that I forgot to mention. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more reviews and tutorials. And hopefully we'll be able to see how this stacks up to the G733 and also Logitech's new flagship, the Pro X. So until next time, we'll see you then. You slide down. Hello, Solid Snake.
Just a box. What are you talking about?
I'm on, boys.